So the scripture for today is from the first book of Kings, chapter 17, verse 13, and it reads, Elijah said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you have said. But first make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have and bring it to me, and then make something for yourself and your son." And the meditation is the following. What an amazing picture. The prophet Elijah addresses the starving woman and tells her in expectation of the future good to have it beforehand. Her first act was to be expressed in giving and not in acquisition. She first had to work for the sake of another, for the prophets, when he said, "First, make a loaf for me." Let us not be surprised by this. Let us not see in these words the indifference of the prophet to another's need or oblivion to another's grief. On the contrary, this was an expression of the most sensitive understanding of a person's need. Self-denial must be our primary need, both in the spiritual and material world. All of our sorrows come from caring too much about ourselves. When we concentrate on our personal difficulties and hardships, we do not receive the desired relief. But by dedicating ourselves to the hardships of others and trying to lessen another's burden, our own burden becomes significantly lighter. In giving ourselves to others, we find a cure for our own affliction. Always, in all circumstances, we must remember that the wounds of others are open just as ours are, that the dark clouds hanging over our heads cast the same shadows next to us as well, and that our brothers, just as we, need relief, encouragement, affection, and love. Our very grief brings us a great gift, the gift of compassion. Let us give this gift, let us spread it generously, and our strength will double as a result. Let us come out of ourselves, forget ourselves, and then, returning to our internal place of prayer, we will find it already illuminated by a new light and decorated with a new radiance, the radiance of the Spirit of the Lord, the radiance of God's love. For the prophet, a strong and independent man, it was not easy, perhaps, to ask for bread from the poor widow, and it wasn't easy for her to temporarily forget about her need and to serve another in her destitution. But both of them submitted to the will of God, and this brought a great good to both. The obedient and humble prophet became the means for a great miracle, and the poor woman, hopeless and impoverished, saw in this miracle the love and care for her of God himself. This is what always happens when, without visible support, the soul follows the path of obedience.